Hello. Hi,
I
everyone.
love that. Kyra. All right,
Yes,
Sanctuary is live.
yes. We are
So,
live. We're excited.
happy holidays, everyone. We are excited to switch it up a little bit and, come at you all live. We've been happy to put out a couple episodes now, and we want to, make things a little bit fresh for the holiday season. So, let's start with that, Kyra. We have Christmas coming up.
Yes.
T minus, it's the 23rd, so T minus 2 days, 3 days, depending on how you slice it. How do
Really?
you feel? How are you excited about it? All the things.
Yes. So I feel like this year honestly went by so fast. I even remember in January, the week before my birthday was actually supposed to be like an ice storm or something like that. And for it to already be around the holidays again, it just went
Yeah.
so fast. I mean, I can't believe it. I think
Oh, shoot.
this year went by so fast. I'm just praising God that there's been a lot of trials and triumphs, and pass it to you, Kenya, to see as well what your thoughts are.
Yeah. I'm excited. Honestly, Christmas is always my favorite time of year. I'll listen to Christmas music. If it's just a regular Tuesday and Wednesday, any time of the year, to be honest. Love the music, love the decorations. I just love the idea of bringing people together. And yeah, this one is different in that, as we get, older, I think the dynamic of the holidays changes a lot in terms of what the expectations are, and in terms of even what gift giving looks like. And so I know this year I'm going to be trying to switch it up and be a lot more creative in terms of what it means to give a gift, and leaning more into experiences and tangible things. So that's going to be kind of a welcome change, I think, and a change of pace. And we do have my Nana, who is already headed down the road already.
Nice.
So she should
Awesome.
be here tonight. Yeah.
Awesome. So it sounds like you'll have the whole family just be able to celebrate and everything with them. That sounds amazing. Yeah, we're gonna be
Yeah.
at my aunt's this year, so that should be a lot of fun, and
Nice.
I'm excited because it's nice to have those quiet ones where you can watch the Christmas parade, but also have fun with family and stuff. So it
Totally.
sounds like a really good time. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're planning to do a big breakfast and possibly a big dinner as well. Are y'all more so leaning one way versus the other, or do y'all like to cook a lot
Great.
around this time of year, or what?
Yeah. Yes, great question. So, usually do a large dinner every year, and then breakfast is kind of low key. We usually just meet up for dinner. But on my dad's side, we're actually going to be meeting up tomorrow for a lunch,
Nice.
a dinner, a lunch and dinner.
Dinner.
I got that from one of my friends. But yeah,
I love that.
a lunch and dinner, and that'll be really nice. We actually have someone in my family that just got engaged, so that's also going to be cool to
Wow.
congratulate them and everything of that nature. So definitely looking forward to it. It's the holidays are always kind of that time of trying to figure out okay, whose house do I go to and everything. So trying to split it up is extremely important. So
Totally.
yeah.
Wow, man, oh man. It's been a lot of engagements on the
Yeah.
timeline. It's been a lot of new additions to the family announcements on the timeline. So, if anybody is watching and that is the case for you or someone that you know and love,
Mm-hmm.
congratulations. And what a way to end the year and go into a new one, right? So, speaking of ending the year and going into a new one, we got to talk about these episodes. We are 3 deep at this point. Episodes 1, 2, and 3. Different
Yes.
topics,
Yeah. Yeah.
different conversations already going, and we're thankful for those that have already tuned in and those that
Mm-hmm.
have not yet, we want to take this as an opportunity to highlight and share about those episodes so that you can go and catch up and have, your tea and your snack and kind of catch up. Treat it like, you're binging your favorite Netflix show. With that being said, let's just briefly touch on, give everybody a little bit of a sneak peek and recap about episodes 1 through 3, starting with the first one.
Yes.
Of course, that was our welcome, our, leap onto the scene, if you will. And, we talked about a lot. We introduced ourselves. We talked about our individual testimonies or fraction of our testimonies, honestly. And so, we were outlining the mission statement of this podcast, which is to put Christ at the center of culture, community, and the arts, and talked about what that means to each of us. And then, as far as our testimonies, kind of talked about what God has done in our lives, is doing in our lives, and where the growth has started to happen. So, on my behalf, very much a story of discovering and embracing full identity and contentment in Christ. Contentment, both of which I would say are a journey, especially contentment in this particular season, and just wanting to really let go of, any tendencies in the past to use mistakes as like a stifling point, and more so in embracing and accepting God and putting him at the center of my life, like just how different that has improved my outlook. I'm much more of a positive thinker, not a toxic positive thinker, but like an actual positive thinker based on like the truth of God's word, and just different aspects of using my gifting and discovering what God says about me instead of what others say about me or even what I say about me, right? So I'll pass it to you, Kyra, to give your episode 1 recap and maybe shout out some of your favorite moments as well.
Yes. I definitely feel like a lot of our experiences has its roots in really how we grew up, and also just especially how we were first introduced to Christ. I would say for myself, with growing up in the church, but also, learning more about life, especially when I got to college and things of that nature, and even after, has transformed a bit of how I think about my relationship with Christ, and also how I think about, sharing the word and discipling others. And so I think that I know, this season we had a lot of conversations really about our walk with Christ, and even just kind of seeing what it says in his word. I mean, we talked about Paul, Saul to Paul, that whole entire storyline, which was different. We talked about being able to be rooted in Christ and still have fun, which sometimes, can be challenging. We also even went towards, really digging in about film as well, which has not, we will talk about that soon, but we also dig a lot more, and I think we actually have talked about it on our earlier episodes, where a lot of Christian film in general mirrors a bit of kind of what we are going through, in our lives, and like what we can really learn from it. So it's just been amazing. I'm very excited. I hope you, as a listener, are continuing the journey along with us, and just we're so thankful to have you.
Mimi, thank you for joining as well.
Yes, thank you. Wow. So I want to pass it to you, Kenya. What is your points in terms of this?
The rest of the episodes, right? So we've already talked a little bit about one solid intro, hit the ground running. This is something that, you and I have been developing, talking about, all of that for months to come, right? So I think we both share in the excitement of it just being here. And that first episode really cemented that. And with the second one, we then transferred to our first topical video. So faith over feelings, which, honestly, we could probably do one episode on this every year,
Yeah.
honestly, have different things to say about it. It's its own series, it's its own like mantra. Like it's really something that, I'll, say personally has become easier, which is a testimony in and of itself, but also, man, it is such an ambitious, it feels like such an ambitious thing. Like when people say trust the process, it feels like one of those things where it's like, how do you even do that? Where do you start? Right. And so I really appreciate that that was our first topical video because it speaks very closely to my testimony. I know that there are aspects where you relate as well. So I want to know, what is your reflection on it? Do you have any like maybe sneak peek things from the conversation that you want to point people to?
Yeah. I think one thing, and like this was kind of, I feel like present in, our previous episodes, is how like, God really is not someone who's gonna just push you like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's like he gives us the opportunity. And so I think in some ways like that in itself can feel like, oh, okay, it's cool, like I'll make the right choice. But like when you're going through life, it just feels so different. Like it doesn't feel, that way. Like it is like a journey to kind of work and grow through that as well. So I definitely, like I said, that's something that's major for me. And I would say too as well, being able to this season really put Christ at the center of, our walk. And I think, in as it relates to culture and different aspects and things of that nature, it can be, and even church culture, it can be difficult to filter, everything that you're receiving every day, to kind of focus on like, what is he trying to say to me at this point? And so it's like, we all, like, even during the holiday season, like we all want to have, a great time. We want to still have fun, enjoy ourselves. But it's so important to kind of, take it and say, hey, let me just make sure I have a good fun, like not like a fun where I'm going to be waking up the next morning and be like, okay, God, I know this is not okay. So like I said, I think that I think it's just interesting to kind of continue to dive into the word and everything of that nature. And with that being said, like even thinking about the holidays, we know that we're right up on Christmas. We will also be right up on the new year, and actually only about almost a week, maybe like 5 to 6 days or something like that from the new year. But on Wednesday we'll be probably like at least 6 days from like New Year's Eve. So I'm curious, starting off with this next 2020, we in the 2020s and 2025 is next. I am very, very excited to really see what the new year has to hold. I'm excited about what God is going to do in the lives of you, our listeners, but also as it relates to, our own lives as well. So I am going to quickly share like one or two, and then Kenya, I'm going to pass it to you to share any resolutions that you have. So I know for myself, I definitely, and this has been a goal of mine for the past couple of years, I'm really excited about travel. I'm looking forward to being able to continue to travel internationally, hopefully a bit more next year. And even just opportunities to take longer trips as well would be great. Not only next year, but in the coming year. So that's one resolution, I guess I could say. And then another one I'm really looking forward to is being able to increase my skill set as it relates to video editing, and even just learning more effects and transitions and things of that nature. So After Effects is a goal of mine. Photoshop, those aspects are those, I guess I should say, platforms I'm really looking forward to being able to dive in more and learn about them. But those are my main two. I have a couple others, but Kenya, go ahead and share some of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, definitely share your desire to do more traveling. I would say that I'm looking forward to being a lot more disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to even be saying that is growth on so many parts, because
Mm-hmm.
discipline has basically been like a dirty word for me, unfortunately, in the past. And obviously, that's not the best thing. And, the reason that I feel it's very, very important, I do think that a lot of the breakthroughs and goals that I have, honestly, without listing all of my New Year's resolutions, they all pretty much fall on the other side of discipline, whether that is being more regimented in my time management, being more consistent in creative endeavors like we're doing now with the podcast. And we've already demonstrated that, which is really exciting to see, as well as getting regular, good quality sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if my
Yeah.
time management is off, then I'm more likely to, go into territory where I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to stay up a little bit later, which obviously then has an impact on my next couple
Yeah.
of days, right? So I would say discipline across the board has been on my mind as like top of the list. I also would say that I'm looking to finish some creative projects personally that
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a few people that are aware of like some of the intricate details as to
Yeah.
what things are, but as a filmmaker, there's some additional projects that I want to continue to develop and to not only develop and complete, but
Mm-hmm.
put out there, share to the world. I had a recent short film called Better Be Frank that I'll be submitting to
Yes.
festivals. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
yeah. So I think it will just be 2025 will be a year of discipline, to be a year of creative endeavors coming to life, and hopefully just the fruits of both of our labor, whether it's in regards to this platform and this community, our individual lives, our careers, um, and how we're stewarding our time and energy and resources to pull those things off. We've planted a lot of seeds this year and in the years
Mm-hmm.
before, and I think for both of us, like, I think honestly it's going to be a really fruitful year of just seeing how God
Mm-hmm.
continues to water those, and then how we till the soil,
Mm-hmm.
how
Mm-hmm.
regularly we keep things up,
Mm-hmm.
how we steward that
Mm-hmm.
those time and energy resources community, those that are
Yeah.
watching, and those that will watch, all of that. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. Awesome. I love the stewardship word that you use there. Like that's like, I mean, look, that can be kind of like a heavy word at sometimes, but I feel like it's just important. I feel like in
Like
every,
discipline.
yeah, yeah, in every area, like I will say, to piggyback real quick off your point, I
Yeah,
definitely want to increase and effective stewardship is how I word it.
that's good.
Effective stewardship,
That's good.
in the new year. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited too. Like I know that, there's gonna be so much more to discuss and like get into, especially during our episodes. So would love to hear from you as well, in terms of if
Yes,
you have
everyone.
any New Year's resolutions, if you're looking forward to continuing to watch our podcast, or if you have any topic suggestions. Feel free to go ahead and share that in the chat, or you can even share it with us after. You can always DM us as well too. So we are so, thankful for you, and we definitely am excited about this holiday season and hope that you enjoy it.
Yeah, we're so grateful for everyone watching. We are looking forward to this holiday season, as one opportunity to reflect and celebrate the beginning of Christ's life here on earth, the time that he took to be with us and to make the ultimate sacrifice. I think it would be nice just for a couple minutes, Kyra, to talk about maybe some of the things that, our culture, since, one of our aspects of the podcast is talking about culture,
Mm-hmm.
right? cultural Christmas versus like the meaning of Christmas. Like, have you
Yeah.
been thinking at all, like recently, just, all the holiday fun, the decor, the shopping, all of that? Those are things that we look forward to as well, right? But like the actual meaning of Christmas, are there things that are sort of on your mind that you're kind of tapping into personally, or like in your devotional life, to like slow down and like remember that he's the reason for the season? And I'll share a little bit as well on my behalf too.
Yes, great question. I definitely kind of feel that in culture, I feel like Christmas is often commercialized to the nth degree, honestly, the ninth
Yeah,
degree.
true.
And so I think that I will say, like, personally, I have fallen, prey to the, okay, it's time to get like 50 gifts. It's time to, decorate the, home. It's time to, give people that I haven't seen 3 years since in 7 years, like,
Yeah,
call them and stuff. But I think it's just a thing where it's like, I really am thankful, really also for my church, personally, because my pastor definitely talks a lot about just centering ourselves and not being so, driven to the commercialization of Christmas and we got to go to the parade, but also remembering like the reason for the season. And so that's kind of what sticks with me now, even, is just like knowing like it is great to see family, it's great to do activities, but keeping Christ, like that a part of keeping Christ at the center of the holidays is also not putting our hope in different aspects that are just fleeting, like they are not going to be the same way, or whatever the case may be all the time. So
yeah,
that's kind of where I get it from. I would love to pass it to you too to quickly see like what you're thinking.
yeah. I feel like what's new for me about thinking about Christmas more recently as even today, is that in the times in my life that I felt that God was really far, or that he maybe even
Mhm.
wasn't listening, didn't, have compassion for things that I was going through, to
Mhm.
then remember at Christmas that this is the God of the universe that,
Yeah.
made himself, manifest as a baby on earth, came and dwelled with us in the most humblest of ways possible. Like, nobody that we know was actually there, right? But we
Yeah.
can assume it was dark, it was dirty, it was probably stanky, it was probably just the last place that you wanted to be. And rather than rolling out the red carpet for himself, that's where he chose
Mhm.
to make his grand
Mhm.
entrance. Not so grand at the time, maybe in the circumstances, but in the grand scheme of things, um, grand probably isn't even the right word to use, right? So I think more recently, like in the times that I felt that God was really far, just remembering that he went as
Mhm.
far as to arrive
Mhm.
as a baby in a manger in the humblest of circumstances, literally in a space where he was not welcome. Like, there was not room for him and Mary and Joseph at the inn, and that also speaks to the life that he would then lead, ultimately being rejected, ultimately
Mhm.
being crucified. So in the times, I think I've been taking extra comfort and hope and just reassurance and joy, honestly, in the fact that that's completely contrary to things that I felt before. Like, God, so far, how could I ever connect with him? How could I ever be worthy of accepting his love and forgiveness? It's like, you went to the ultimate lengths to be here. And what we're celebrating is his arrival, and honestly, also everything that was to come. There would be no redemption for our sins in the crucifixion if he hadn't arrived to begin with, right? So
Mhm.
all of that begins there. And I think it's really, really beautiful, and I'm blessed to also be plugged into a really great church community where we're able to not only decorate and have the fun, and we're doing a lovely, I think by now have already done a lovely children's service dedicated to celebrating Christmas, but When I think about the reason for the season, it's unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
It's redemption made possible by the ultimate sacrifice. Those are things that stick with me. And, of course, I'm looking forward to the baking of the cookies and the Christmas
Yes.
dinners and the gift giving and want to just, as I've done with music, Christmas music throughout the year, keep the spirit and hope of Christmas alive throughout the entire year as well.
Yes. Yes, yes. I am in full agreement. I definitely will say like keeping it alive is like
Yes.
important, like that point that you just made, like especially I will quickly share that, this week I learned, outside of the holiday season, like keeping that light that you have alive is
Mm-hmm.
important. Like it's a necessity. And so the last point I will say is just like, even for you, our listeners, make sure that you nourish yourself spiritually and mentally this holiday season and even into the new year. We are, here for you. We're excited about everything that's to come. But we definitely just want to make sure that you continue to put Christ at the center of culture, community, and the arts. And with that being said, we'll stay on a couple of minutes for a couple of questions if there are any. And then we will definitely look forward to seeing you soon. And please enjoy the holidays as well.
Yeah. I think that this has been a really, really fun first live. Many more to come, many more episodes to come. And I want to echo what you said, Kyra, of just encouraging everyone to keep Christ at the center. Certainly community, culture, art,